Okay, welcome to another Ranger Auto video. Today we're working on an 04 Kia Rio Cinco. We're doing fuel tank service on this car because it's from northern New York, and well, you know how it is up there. The salt will tear the hell out of your car. So to start this operation, you're going to get it up in the back because the tank sits just underneath the back seat. I did mine like this. I used a 2x6 and a cinder block. Don't mind that 2x4 right there. I just put that there because you're going to need that for the jack. And I'll show you all the jacking points and everything when we get under the car. Alright, so after you get it jacked up, you're going to pull the fuel pump relay, which is one of these two right here. It'll show you on the bottom of the cover which one it is. Start the car up, let it run till it dies. Pull your negative battery cable. That part's done. Then you're going to come back here to the back of the car underneath the seat. You're going to take out two 12mm bolts that hold the front of the seat on, and then the seat snaps up and out, and you can just lean the seat back like that, tip it forward for it to lay down on, so you don't have to pull it out of the car. Then you'll take 4 Phillips head screws out of this body mount right here, or this body plate that sits right here. You've got three cables, 3 connectors. Now, one of the connectors that sits on the fuel pump, it's this one right here. You're going to have to slide it out of the bracket and just let it stay there. Do not unhook the fuel pump yet from the tank. Reason for that is if there's any gas left in here, it's going to fill this compartment full of fumes, and it can actually blow up on you. So save this till the last part. Don't mess with that until you're ready for it. Then you're going to get underneath the car. We're going to get under the car now, and I'm going to show you some jacking points. First jacking point, you're going to put your jack on this cross member back here, because this is the rear axle of the car. Put one jack under each coil spring. Jack it up, and then slide your blocks under it. Under the car, we've got some stuff up here. This is an evaporator tank. That's your fuel line coming from the fuel filler neck to the tank. That's an emissions vapor cable right there. That's an electrical. You're going to have to take the nut off of the bracket and then pull that away. You're going to have to take off this hose, let's see, you're going to need to, over here on the other side, you've got a purge tank. Your charcoal tank sits right here. You're going to have to take out those 2 nuts right here, that one and that one on the end. Your tank bolts are right there and right up there. You can see it just barely. And I don't know what size those are. Keep in mind that the one on the passenger side is shorter than the one on the driver's side as far as the tank straps go. But if you do it right, you won't need to take the straps out. You'll take the bolt out, and then you pull that other bolt. Make sure you got a jack underneath right about middle way here. You're going to let it come down just enough on the driver's side to where you could slide it out away from the exhaust pipe. So you don't have to take the pipe out, because in order to take this pipe out, you got to take it out all the way up there where it hooks to the back of the catalytic converter. That's where your bolts would come out. And then you'd have another set of bolts right there on that exhaust flange for the muffler. So you don't want to mess with none of that. And then you want to bring this down nice and easy, but before you do that, after the straps have been dropped and your jack is underneath, go ahead up in the car and pull your pressure line. If you can't pull it from up top, you have another one right there on that hose right there you can get. If you can't get the one up on the pump, you can just leave it hooked and just bring it down that way. That other line you see right there, that's a vapor line for the purge valve. That line you have to unhook also. That's this hose right here. you can just unhook it from the bend, like right there, and then just be careful you don't snag it on the way down. This right here is your brake cable for your rear brakes. You want to be careful you don't snag that either. And so that's what you have to do. You got a lot of hoses to unhook. You got to be careful when you bring it down. I'll do another video when I get the tank down so you can see what the top of the tank looks like, and then we'll discuss what we've got to do to get it put back in. Now, a word of note, if your fuel lines look like that, where they're rusted up real bad like that, it's probably a good idea to replace them with the tank out, mainly for the added convenience. To get them out, you just have to snap them out of those brackets right there that they sit in. You can see all those brackets right there. They just pop right out of the top. And then under the hood, there's a couple things you need to know about if you're going to replace the fuel lines. The way that Kia did this was they put the fuel lines in before they put the rest of the car together. So this is what you got to look forward to. Under the hood, you've got your fuel lines that come up here. They go up in front of the power brake booster, and they go and they attach to the firewall just like that. And then you've got your fuel line plug-in right here that goes to the fuel rail, and then your other hose that goes to your purge tank. This is the secondary tank. The primary tank is the one that's attached to the fuel tank. So in order to get these lines out, you're going to have to take them out one at a time, starting with the upper line. And from the looks of things, you've got an electrical right here you got to move. You may have to unbolt the power brake booster from the brake pedal assembly under the dashboard and slide it forward enough to get these lines out, because they're sandwiched in there pretty good. You may also have to pull the wiper motor out too if you don't have enough room. But you'll definitely have to pull those two brackets, that bolt there and that bolt back down there. You've got to pull those out. And then you'll leave them on the line until you get the line down out of the car. And then they just slide off the ends, and then just slide them back on the ends when you're done. So that's a thought if you need to replace your fuel lines. I'm going to have to do it on this car. And if I come up with an easier way to do it, I will definitely make a video of it for you guys. But that's part one of fuel tank replacement on an 04 Kia Rio. Another thing you might want to pay attention to is I've learned with Kias that you need to know the date of manufacture, which is down here on the door plaque. It sits right there. If it's 03, that's what the code's going to be for it. If this said 04, then it'd be the 04 tank. Reason being is the 04 tank looks completely different from the 03 tank, and it will not fit. So, just a little piece of information there for you Kia people. It's correct as an 04 for registration purposes, but as far as parts go, you're going to have to get parts for an 03. So, we'll go ahead and end it here, and we'll see you on the next one.